What's up, YouTube? This is Red Devilosa. DC Fandome ended this weekend, and here are my thoughts. I'm going to be using footage from the Arkham series with images and clips from the event, because Warner Brothers and DC are kinda shaky when it comes to what you can and can't show. First things first, I really like this format, for the most part. I never been to a Comic-Con before, so it was a cool experience to see a bunch of directors, actors and actresses, game designers, geeking out and talking about their work, and the characters I love to read about in the comics, watch shows and movies, and playing video games. There were some trash questions though. I know people are excited to talk to people that they look up to, but the limited time and the ridiculousness of some questions were hard to sit through at times. So yeah, let's get into the topics, and this will cover the movies and the games, not the TV shows. The sequel to the 2017 film on The Wonderful Woman, which happens to be my favorite movie in the DCU at the moment, that's a video for another day. I was pretty much excited for the sequel off rip. I think Gal Gadot really captures the essence of Wonder Woman, while also being the light, the spirit of hope, which Superman is supposed to be. We knew that Steve Trevor was coming back, played by Chris Pine, and the tables are turned in which Steve was teaching Diana about society in the first movie, and this one has Diana teaching Steve about society in the 80s. The 80s looks amazing, along with the actual bright suit. We also saw the Kingdom Come Wonder Woman suit, and that she can swing a lightning bolts. Yeah, that's something. And the new trailer adds Cheetah's full form. I believe that if the COVID thing had not delayed the movie, I think they would have left the design as a surprise. I believe it was also a way to show the design after those god-awful CGI cats designed in the hit film Cats. I thought the design of Cheetah looks alright, except for the face. However, it flashed for literally a moment, and the freeze frame made it look bad. I'm sure it will look better on film. I'm not too familiar with Kristen Wiig, but she seems alright as Cheetah. And you can't go wrong with Oberyn Martell, Pedro Pascal himself, as Maxwell Lord. Also, it was nice to see the OG Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, with the panel as well. Oh, and fuck whoever made that promotional comic for the movie. You did my girl, Gal, so dirty.
You've endangered lives all over this city. Nora would never have wanted this.
No. What she wants is to live a long life in the warmth of the sun. Her hand in mine.
Gotham Knights. Not Batman Gotham Knights. Not Arkham Gotham Knights. Just Gotham Knights. This game is being created by WB Games Montreal, who created Arkham Origins, a game that I think is overhated, but it's understandable in some areas. This game will be released in 2021. This game has been talked about for a while, with the idea of having the Court of Owls and the inclusion of the Bat family in the game. Batman is seemingly dead, and Commissioner Gordon is actually dead. You get to play as Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Red Robin in either a single player or co-ops, and it can be played in any way you choose. Batgirl is able to walk now, which is reminiscent of New 52, where she goes through surgery to walk again. Red Robin is able to use the Justice League satellite for short-range teleportation. He is also invisible at one point, and there's no explanation for that. Also, the Bat Cycle will be used as well. There was some pre-alpha gameplay footage with Batgirl and Red Robin against Mr. Freeze. For pre-alpha footage, this looks pretty good. A bit wonky on the combat, but it's competent. I'm going to wait to see the final touch-ups before I make a final decision. Two issues for me was the terrible music given in the gameplay. And I'm not really a fan of the character voices, which I guess I'm biased for the spectacular voice work in the Arkham series, which, by the way, this game is not a part of the Arkham universe, but its own thing. Personally, I'm alright with it. I enjoy the similar gameplay style in the Arkham series, but the story is the main thing that matters to me. And I think it's nice to play as the other members of the Bat family with their own fighting styles and gadgets. I believe Batman was captured by the Court of Owls, and I hope he becomes a playable character. Again, once the release date comes closer, I'll make a video on that. Still too many Batman games. If you're not going to give me a Superman, Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern game, then at least make a Green Arrow game, because I think that could actually work. Theaters in 2022. This movie pretty much confirms that the multiverse is a thing, as Michael Keaton from the Burtonverse from Batman 89 and Batman Returns is coming back. Personally, even though it's really cool to see Michael Keaton come back as Batman, It's just, I wish this current Earth Prime could have been more defined and clear before bringing in other universes. DC is pretty much a mess right now, even though it looks like they're getting their shit together. It's pretty much a cop-out to say, well, every DC movie is now canon. We also know that Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman in the movie as well. Andy Muschietti is the director of the movie, best known for the It movies and Mama, so a horror director. I loved the first It movie, and the second one I liked it, but there were some glaring issues. Another video for another day. Ezra Miller gets a lot of shit for his casting as Barry Allen. I think it was doomed from the start because we only got a few cameos before shoving him, Cyborg, and Aquaman into Justice League by 2017. I said it back then and I'm going to say it now. These characters should have had their own movie before teaming up. Now he doesn't look like Barry Allen, he doesn't act like Barry Allen, yet I'm still giving him a chance at the same time. A look doesn't really matter to me. If I went off look, then Ezra looks like he could have been Clarion the Witch Boy. Ezra Miller is a pretty good actor that just needs better writing and direction, which I think Muschietti will be able to bring. He does need to fix his running form though. It looks pretty bad in Justice League and in the new Snyder Cut trailer that we will get to. I know Ezra Miller is a huge fan of The Flash from different interviews and how he was willing to write a script along with comic book writer Grant Morrison for the movie. Someone from WB put the concept of the script on Reddit, which I read, and I'll link it in the description. I thought it was a really good Flash story, and I think it would have been good if we started something along those lines, then go into Flashpoint, which this movie is inspired by. I feel like it's too soon to have a Flashpoint occur, but it's mainly for the fact that the DC universe is in a bit of a mess, and this can course correct it, hopefully, for the better. We got to see the concept art as Muschietti said, Flash is getting a new suit in this one. I'm cool with that. This is set to release on June 3rd, 2022.
So that's it? What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
2021's new film directed by James Gunn is to be a soft reboot to the one we got in 2016. Gunn had a stacked lineup of actors, and he's basically told us who was playing who. There are a lot of characters that are pretty much jokes, and James Gunn even admitted it. I'm kind of glad Gunn decided to call Daniela Melchior's character Ratcatcher 2, instead of tokenizing her to be like Opal Flanagan versus the original Ratcatcher, Otis Flanagan. I'm glad that Viola Davis and Margot Robbie are coming back as Amanda Waller and Harley Quinn respectively. They were two of the best parts of that trash Suicide Squad. I like Robbie's new look for Harley. It goes back to the classic red, white, and black look from the Batman the Animated Series. In Birds of Prey, she looked like she was rocking a trash bag. I kind of like Jay Courtney as Captain Boomerang. I thought he was sometimes unintentionally hilarious. Joel Kinnaman was very boring as Rick Flag, so not a huge fan. Idris Elba was thought to replace Will Smith as Deadshot, but it turns out he will be playing Bloodsport, an enemy of Superman. Others include John Cena as Peacemaker, Peter Capaldi as the Thinker, Alice Braga as Sol Soria, Pete Davidson as Blackguard, David Dastmalchian as Polka Dot Man, Michael Rooker as Savant, Nathan Fillion as Arm Fall Off Boy, Stephen Agree as King Shark, Sean Gunn as Weasel, Flula Borg as the Javelin, and Mei Ling Nig as Mungal. Lots of characters in this one, and we still don't know who Taika Waititi is playing. Gunn showed behind-the-scene footage of the creation of the film. I was expecting a trailer because they finished filming in February, I suppose. It was pretty much the cast saying that James Gunn is the only director that can direct Suicide Squad, which I agree. He was a fan as a kid, and he had a huge amount of success for the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Now, the cast size is like 2 or 3 times more, but I believe Gunn is able to balance that amount of people at once. The film is set to release on August 6, 2021. This was in the surprise DC panel, and yeah, I was definitely surprised. I thought there was going to be a Green Lantern or Martian Manhunter movie, but no, it's actually a Static Shock movie. Static Shock had an animated series in 2000 to 2004. I used to watch it as a kid and I remember liking it. It has honestly been a while since I last saw it. But yeah, that's all that was really said, that it's in development. No words on actors, writers, or director, just that it's happening. I'll be looking forward to it when we get more news.
That man won't quit as long as he can still draw a breath. None of my teammates will. Me? I've got a different problem.
The long-awaited Snyder Cut of the 2017 Justice League is set to release sometime in 2021 on HBO Max. Snyder revealed that it will be a 4 one-hour-long episode miniseries, or a 4-hour movie, how you look at it. I liked Zack Snyder's 300 and Watchmen. but I don't like his vision for DC heroes. Man of Steel was a really good movie, but it was a mediocre Superman movie to me. While the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman was much better compared to the theatrical cut, I still had issues with how Batman, Superman, and Lex Luthor Jr. were treated. It felt very crammed with The Dark Knight Returns and the death of Superman being in the same movie as the introduction to a 20-year Batman, a Justice League, and a sequel to Man of Steel where Superman dies in the next movie. Nothing against Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and Zack Snyder personally. I feel like I have to say that because some people think that if you don't like a film, it's because of the person. Speaking from experience on Twitter. Those are videos for another time. However, I appreciate the fact that Snyder is getting the green light to work on his vision of Justice League after the death of his daughter. People seem to really like his vision, and I'm glad that they're happy about something. I'm also glad that Snyder said that it was in its own universe, because it's just not for me. Snyder did get to show a trailer. Zack Snyder used the Hallelujah song by Leonard Cohen. Apparently it was his daughter's favorite song. That's tight. It still gave off vibes of Watchmen since he used it in that film too. And it also came off as Hallelujah, my film is coming. Also, I think about in Watchmen when the climax of the song happens, Silk Spectre actually climax. I just found it funny. The trailer opens up with Darkseid, Uxix, young Darkseid. The design looks alright, but it looks like a PS2 cutscene. I know it's coming out in a year and all, so it'll be fixed up, but that was the first impression since it was the first thing. It would have been nice to start off with Black Suit Superman, but that's just me. Still no mullet, so that's disappointing. The Hall of Justice is destroyed, which looks like the nightmare sequence from Batman v Superman. There are some clips that we've already seen before in the original Justice League trailers from 2016, 2017, and some deleted scenes, like Batman looking at a hologram of Superman, Cyborg as Victor Stone playing football, Superman coming out of the chamber, but now it's a black suit, Flash saving Iris from a car crash. I loved that shot of Wonder Woman kneeling down to the little girl. She's really the only character I care about. I liked Aquaman in his movie, but it looks like he's going to be a completely different character in this one. We still have the Sea Witch Amber Turd as Mera in this movie, but I suppose there's nothing we can really do about that. We get a look at Desaad, Darkseid's torturer. Cyborg looks like he's going to have a huge part in this movie, which is what Snyder was saying earlier. We have a clip that's reminiscent of Watchmen when Dr. Manhattan gets his powers, only it's Cyborg's dad that dies. In the theatrical cut, he survived. We get a brand new spiky version of Steppenwolf, similar to Batman v Superman, Ultimate Edition. Batman blocks Apocalyptian laser blast from parademons with his gauntlets because he's Batman. I love the shot of Flash in what looks like to be the Speed Force, also with Clark hugging Lois and his mother. It looks like he's finally going to be a Superman that I can recognize, thank fucking God. One thing that was odd was that Cyborg was in his human form and he moved missiles with his hand. Maybe it's a dream sequence? There was a very quick look at King Atlan, probably a part of the fight in which Steppenwolf had at the portion in the theatrical cut. Flash's run is still weak, and the shot of the Justice League still posing to nothing really. Batfleck had a really cool line about how Steppenwolf hasn't fought them united. I am interested to see this movie. Again, it's great for Snyder to get his complete vision to come out. I wasn't going out of my way for this cut because I just wanted DC to move on, like the other movies were doing. Justice League came out in 2017 and there will be a new version coming out in 2021, 4 years later. We had an Aquaman that referenced the fight with Steppenwolf, Shazam referencing most of the DC universe, Birds of Prey with Suicide Squad. DC was moving on, in which I think it's for the best, judging from these panels that we've seen, along with the others we'll get to. And the original story of the Justice League trilogy had the Apocalypse battles, Superman under the anti-life equation. Only problem is that we don't really understand these characters. And what can you do after Darkseid? He is the big bad. The Thanos of the DC universe, if you will. All other villains will seem laughable in comparison. My point is that it was too soon to have a Justice League in the first place, and now I only care about 2 or 3 of them. So yeah, I'll watch it, but I'm not entirely excited for it. While there wasn't any footage for Black Adam set to release December 22nd, 2021, we got to have some concept art of The Rock as Black Adam along with the Justice Society of America. It was revealed that the JSA will consist of Atom Smasher, going to be played by Noah Centineo, Hawkman, Alexander Skarsgård is being eyed for the role, but it's not confirmed yet, Dr. Fate, and Cyclone. I'm curious to know when this movie will take place, because I originally thought it was going to be like an origin for Black Adam, because he's way older than Shazam. But he was saying something about 5,000 years ago he was in prison, and now he's free. I hope The Rock has some sort of Egyptian accent. His narration sounded more menacing than his usual self, but he still sounds like The Rock as Black Adam. Again, I'm waiting for more to come out about this.
Also known as Protector of the Oceans. The Aquaman. I hear you can talk to fish.
Nothing too much happened here. It's just some fan questions for James Wan and Patrick Wilson. Wan says the second film will be more serious and relevant compared to the first one. I liked the first one. The visuals of Atlantis was just spectacular. The costumes were amazing with Aquaman, Ocean Master, and Black Manta. The main issue I had was sometimes the script was a bit corny, and the story would not make sense at times. Like, how did Aquaman and Mera get from the Sahara Desert to Italy in the next scene? James Wan even admitted that they will have more focus on the script for the second one, so I'm on board. Also, Patrick Wilson confirmed that he will be in the sequel. It's between Ocean Master and Zod for me for which is my favorite villain in the DC universe. The sequel is set to come out on December 2022. Just recast Amber Turd as Mera. Safe bets are Emilia Clarke with Game of Thrones chemistry. Let me know who you would want from Mera. # recast Sea Witch.
Need a little help here, Shazam!
Yeah, nothing really happened here except for cringe, to be honest. At least James Wan and Patrick Wilson were cool to listen to. All we really know is that the title of Shazam 2 will be Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and is set to release on November 4, 2022, and that Sinbad will be in the sequel.
We're the patsies. The cover-up. Don't forget, we're the bad guys.
The new game on Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark is confirmed to be set in the Arkham series. Some changes are that Deadshot is black now when he was white in Arkham City and Arkham Origins, and King Shark died in the Assault on Arkham movie, which is also canon to the games. So it looks like Brainiac is mind-controlling the Justice League and Amanda Waller needs a Suicide Squad to kill them. Like Gotham Knights, the story can be played to single player up to 4 players. The visuals of the game looks amazing, and it's set to come out in 2022. Look, I don't like the concept of evil Superman. It's lazy and it's been done to death. I know this is Rocksteady's way to see if the other members of the Justice League can work the same way as Batman. With that said, it looks like a really fun game that is set in Metropolis for the first time in the franchise. Already looks better than 2016 Suicide Squad, which isn't really that hard. I'm sure a lot of people will intentionally miss as Deadshot since he always says he never misses. There's no reveal of any other Justice League members like Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern. I'm going to wait for the gameplay before I make my final decision on the game itself.
He's here. Who? The Batman.
Oh my god. That last panel, in my opinion, was the best panel. Not just the trailer. I really enjoyed Matt Reeves just talking about the duality of Batman and Bruce Wayne being inspired by a great story called Batman Ego, along with The Long Halloween, the Rogues Gallery, the Gothic Noir Gotham, the cast, the GCPD show that will be written by Terrence Winter, who wrote episodes for The Sopranos. Also, he was inspired by films like Taxi Driver, Chinatown, and The French Connection. The other panels had a lot more fun with the cast, with their knowledge on comics or answering fan questions, fan art, and little teases. It's fun to watch people have fun until it gets cringy. I felt like I really got to learn something about Reeves' view and passion on Batman and Gotham without really knowing anything about the upcoming film. The fact that him and Robert were huge Batman fans as kids and they're able to use that passion to connect with each other is a great sign. Honestly, I didn't expect to get a teaser with only 25 to 30% of the actual movie being completed. I thought it would be like a scene or reveal of the other character designs, but no. I never had an issue with Robert Pattinson being the Batman. People bring up the Twilight movies from 9-12 years ago, which the books also sucked, but like Matt Reeves said, Pattinson in The Rover, The Lost City of Z, Good Time, The Lighthouse, The King, and others sold me with him as an actor. He looks straight out of 1992's Batman Night Cries, and that resemblance is ridiculous knowing that he was like 6 at the time. The teaser already sold me with the duct tape moving the WB and DC logos to the sound. Plus Nirvana? Bruh. It looks like Paul Dano's version of the Riddler will be reminiscent of the Zodiac Killer or from Seven. My favorite version of the Riddler was in Batman the Animated Series, where he was calm, cool, and collected. After having an over-the-top version by Jim Carrey, it's cool to have a darker version of the character. Also, I really like the fact that this Batman will be a detective and show why he is called the world's greatest detective. Pretty much every Batman movie focuses on the crime-fighting aspects of the character and very little bits of the cerebral detective work, and the Riddler is a great way to show this. Also, he has a voice modulator of some sort. Riddle me this, Batman.
If you are our justice. Please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
Tight. We get to see Lieutenant Gordon and Batman working together, which lets us know that Batman and some members of the GCPD trust Batman in Year 2. We actually get to see the Batsuit in its cinematic view. I like it. There are bits of different elements from other Batsuits and combines into this one. The collar from Gotham by Gaslight, the chest armor from Arkham Origins, the symbol similar to 1939, the militarized pants from Batman Noel, the gauntlets from Talons from the Court of Owls. The only thing I wasn't a huge fan of was the shape of the cowl, and even that I gave it like a 7 out of 10. It looks amazing when it's in the rain. We hear some voice work of Andy Serkis as Alfred. When he was casted, I thought he would have been a great Hugo Strange or CG Clayface, so I'll have to wait to see what he's like, because he wasn't physically there in the trailer. There's a glimpse of the Batcave in its infancy with limited computers cramped with the Batmobile and the Batcycle. We get a look on Bruce Wayne's design. There were complaints about the hair, that it looks like Emo Parker from Spider-Man 3. Personally, I don't have an issue with it. It would have been nice if it was like Tenet or Cosmopolis or 2015 Life hair, but it really doesn't matter to me. I mean, he's at a funeral. We get a look at Colin Farrell as the Penguin. It's amazing how you turn this to this. That's fucking insane. There's a skirmish at GCPD. My guess is that Batman must be suspecting a corrupt commissioner or an officer that works for the Riddler. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman is shown as a cat burglar, so she's not Catwoman yet. I wish the ski mask would have covered around the chin as well, but that's just me. There's a confrontation on what looks like to be the members of Penguin's gang, not entirely sure. I'm sure the direction that Matt Reeves had for Robert. Alright, so act like he called you Edward Cullen. I'm going to need you to press triangle and repeatedly press square for a critical beatdown. It gave me vibes of Year 1, Arkham Origins, and Mask of the Phantasm, where a young Batman wanted to show a lot of damage to the first thug, so that the rest can fear him and tell the others. Also, there's some Daredevil series vibes where every punch takes a lot out of you because they're human. You would think after that brutal rage combo, he might scream out, "I'm Batman!" But no. He composes himself, he's unfazed by what he did.
I'm vengeance. I'm Batman.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm vengeance.
And I'm sold. We get a view of the Batmobile. I'm glad it's a car, not a fucking tank. There's a lot of inspiration from the 70s and 80s version of the Batmobile. Also, Reeves confirmed that Batman made the car and the suit himself, as in this point of his career, he doesn't have a Lucius Fox yet. Denzel Washington? Matt Reeves? Make it happen, please. More rapid-fire clips show Batman getting shot, Batman going up like in Batman Begins. I liked how the logo had the cowl on the A. The last clip had him taking off the cowl. This photo was leaked before the panel showed up, and it took me a second to realize what the scene was, because out of context it looked weird for people. I'm glad they actually addressed that Batman has eye makeup under the cowl. Also, when he takes it off, there's a bit of helmet hair. Pretty much every version of Batman, when the cowl comes off, the eyeshadow is gone and their hair is freshly combed. Michael Keaton's was worse in Batman Returns, where there was a shot of the makeup, a cut, then the makeup is gone before he pulls the cowl off. Riddler says that Batman is a part of something and that he will see. With this only being a part of 25 to 30% of the movie,
oh boy, yeah.
My only issue I have is Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, and it's only as a part of ignorance, as I'm not really familiar with her work. I saw her in X-Men First Class, and she really wasn't much, and in Fantastic Beasts 2, which she was fine in that bad movie. If there's any other work that I should watch, let me know. Definitely my most anticipated from the list. Yes, it's another Batman movie. It's the 6th live-action version of the Caped Crusader in the last 32 years. The way I look at it, it doesn't look like a Batman that we've seen before. And the one core aspect that's been missing is the detective part, which is what sets it apart, in my opinion. If I were to rank the movies by anticipation from most to least, it would be The Batman, The Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 84, Black Adam, The Flash, Snyder Cut, Aquaman 2, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And for the video games, it's Gotham Knights, then Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Let me know your list of anticipations down in the comments. Also, who would you cast for Mara? Hashtag recast SeaWitch. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like opinions and reviews on movies, comics, TV shows, and video games, like the video and subscribe to my channel, and click the bell for notifications for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.